Welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show, a naturally wonderful place to live and a great place to do business. Featuring local business successes and visionaries, bringing tips, tricks and inspiration to you. The podcast that embraces your local business community. And here's your host, Tony Curl.
Hey there, it's Coach Curl here and welcome to episode 36 of the Redlands Coast Business Show. Today, we feature a brand new business to the Redlands Coast. The Australian Wildflour Pastry Company is a gluten-free bakery specialist. Anita Wood is our guest, and she moved from Albury to the Redlands Coast to continue to grow and to set up initially and grow her business. They sell online Australia-wide, and they have pickup here right from their Ormiston location. Our conversation today highlights the growing area of gluten-free, the industry growth that is gluten-free cooking, and you'll see Anita's quest for excellence with her products. So after a word from our sponsor, the Essentials for Growth Small Business Leadership Program, please welcome Anita Wood to the podcast.
The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by tomorrow's best leaders. Increase your chances of business success by developing your leadership skills. Learn how to overcome the challenges and obstacles to grow your business. Gain more clients and profits by enhancing your skills for people connection. The Essentials for Growth Program. The leadership program for small business. It will help you grow your business and become a successful entrepreneur. Learn more at tomorrowsbestleaders.com.
And it's my pleasure to welcome to the Redlands Coast Business Show. Please welcome Anita Wood from Australian Wildflour Pastry Company. How are you, Anita?
I'm well. How are you?
I am fantastic. Now, you're only a recent convert to the Redlands Coast, so we're going to talk about that, but you're based at Ormiston. But first up, yes. Let's talk about your business. What is the Australian Wildflour Pastry Company?
Okay, so we are a little French patisserie style company. We're exclusively gluten-free, so we're good for celiac, gluten-free. And I guess I want to, get it across to everybody that it's for everyone, because there's this stereotype in the community. And I think, when I first started off, I'm not gluten-free myself. My business partner is James, and I wanted to bring it to everybody that, it's something that everyone can enjoy. It's not something that, when we all look at it, and like we were just talking about before, it's, it's something that when people look at gluten-free and they go, ugh. And I used to as well, because it hasn't got the greatest reputation for being something delicious. Because we're all used to, the regular run-of-the-mill wheat style products. But, it's something that I wanted to be able to bring to everybody that didn't have a choice in eating that way, that has those allergies, that they can have something beautiful and taste as much as like the regular, products that everybody gets to enjoy. So.
Yeah. And I guess with gluten-free, we were talking a little bit before going to air that, I worked with a lady a number of years back, and whether it was 6 or 8 or, maybe even 9 years ago. And at that particular time, especially, a lot of people who weren't forced to eat gluten-free, I don't know if forced is the right word, but they had to eat gluten-free because of the ramifications if they didn't. Would often talk about that taste scenario. You would often hear people say it tastes like cardboard, there's no taste to it, it's, et cetera, et cetera. But it has come such a long way. And the health benefits are there, I believe, for everyone. Is that correct?
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the fastest growing industries, like in the hospitality, retail trade, like in the food trade. There's been a massive growth these past, probably about 10 years. The amount of products that you find on the shelf now is, increasing, which is great. Woolies and Coles have a massive gluten-free range. They've got a whole aisle set to it now in the health food aisle. I've got a little part in the freezer that's exclusively, for gluten-free. So there was a lot of it beforehand. Even like a year or two ago, even like since I've been starting baking gluten-free, I've seen a massive increase of people putting it out. The flavour, it's a finicky thing, gluten-free. You've got so many different flour blends that you get to work with, and it's finding what works right for you. There's a lot of different recipes out there that, is on the internet. They all go, oh, gluten-free flour, but there's so many different blends. Like at the moment, I reckon I've got about 20 that I work with.
Surely.
20 different ones. So, you can have them ranging from rice flour, different types of rice, brown rice. You've got quinoa, you've got banana flour, you've got tapioca starch, corn flour. The list is endless, but there's all these different ones, and finding that right blend is key to having great gluten-free baking. Yeah.
I'm on your website as we're talking, and can I tell you, it looks absolutely delicious. So regardless whether you're gluten-free or not, if that was presented on a table, people are just going to eat it. It looks sensational. So this isn't your first foray into business. You had a previous business?
No, so I did have a previous business, Vintique Cakes. So I was a cake decorator, and I did that for about 7 or 8 years. And I wasn't just a cake decorator, it was teaching. I used to fly around Australia and teach at cake decorating stores, at shows, at cake shows, all that type of thing. I did a lot of work for some, companies that produced cake decorating and kitchenware. So I was working in the background with them on product development, and I would produce cookies and cupcakes for the front of the packaging.
Oh, wow.
So there was a lot of that around it as well. And I think when COVID came in, it took a little bit of time to build up, in business as you do and grow. And then the year that COVID happened, it was like my busiest year to date. I was nearly booked out. I was so proud. I was like, wow, I've really made it work. And then all my events in the year literally got cancelled within 4 days.
Yeah.
And that was it. And then there was, no going out. And I was out in the country at that time as well. So I was very limited as to where I was going. I was an hour out of town on a farm. It was one of those things that I could work a lot online and keep, producing that type of thing. I helped a lot of people out in the area that we're living in, small personal orders. But, what my business used to be is something that, it really died down. And I ended up getting a job in town in Albury and working in pastry, and that was really great. And I met my business partner there, James, and he was gluten-free, and he kept on running down my side of the kitchen, going, can you make this gluten-free? And I'm like, no, that stuff's awful, go away. And if you told me like a year ago that I would be opening my own gluten-free patisserie, I would have told you to be like, no way.
So what was the compelling reason why you did kick off your own gluten-free patisserie? Well,
it was, for me, I like a challenge. I've always loved baking. I've always loved cooking. I'm 90% of the time in the kitchen. I never leave. And it was one of those things when James was giving me what he had to eat, like that was the bread, and he's like, oh, this is the best on the market. And I'm like, I can't eat this. It's terrible. Like, are you kidding? And so I'm like, well, surely someone can do better. And so, I made him a loaf of bread, and there was a few loaves of bread that went in the bin because it took a long time to actually find something that was the right balance and had that great texture. But I finally found it, and that was really good. And then I was making, it kind of came about by accident. I was playing around with cookies.
Okay.
And recreate, Arnott's. Everybody loves a good Arnott's cookie, and Tim Tams and the wagon wheel. Who doesn't love a good wagon wheel? And, so I made some wagon wheels and playing about with those. And he took them into work, where he was working at the time at a cafe. And they were like, oh, my gosh, this is awesome. You have to sell these. And I'm like, oh, no, you don't want to do that. So, so anyway, they were very persistent, and I ended up doing some wholesale orders for them, and they were selling them at the cafe. And then word got out, and I was getting some questions about how people can order them. And so I started making orders, and once I put it up online, it ended up going all around Australia, and I was posting them out. This was at Albury at the time. And so I was getting a good lot of orders for all of those. And then, it was getting to a time in my life where I needed to have a bit of a change from the country scene. And, we were thinking at the time, what do we do with this cookie thing? Is it something we can grow in Albury, or do we need to be somewhere with a larger demographic to be able to do what we envisioned to do? So, there was that choice of either going to Melbourne, because Melbourne's got a really great, gritty food scene there. It's known for all that type of thing. Or Brisbane was the next step. So a trip to Brisbane and a trip to Melbourne, and a little bit of thinking time in between, and Brisbane won out in the end. So.
and hence the move to the Redlands coast. So yeah. So what are you loving about the coast so far?
It's really, it's just really nice to be back in suburbia for a start. I've been in the country, like on cattle stations and working all of that type of thing for about 10 years. And it's quite isolating, so it's great to be around a beautiful area, the coast. Everyone's really lovely here. They're very supportive. The council, when I approached them to let them know what I wanted to do, Redlands City Council, big shout out to them. They're amazing.
Oh, good.
They're very supportive of helping me get the business up and going and doing the checks and all that. So, Registered Kitchen, they were great to get it in before Christmas, which was fantastic. I know it was a really busy time of year for them. I've moved into a street where, it's like neighbours, everyone comes out for drinks, and they're so lovely, and they've all been so supportive of what I want to do. And I've been running around dropping taste testers off on their doorsteps going, let me know what you think. And so everyone's had some really good feedback. But it's just a really lovely area. I mean, the view's gorgeous. You've got so many gorgeous places to walk, go for a walk in the morning because the humidity kills me. I'm not acclimatised. So it is. It's great. And the demographic here is really good as well, because for gluten-free, there's not a huge amount of businesses that offer something for gluten-free and celiac-friendly in that type of high-end bakery production type things. So,
excellent.
Yeah, I thought this was a great place to start it.
Great to hear, and really positive feedback for the council. So sometimes, as we know, councils may not get the most positive of feedback, so it's good that they've been supportive and encouraging, which is a real positive.
Great. Yeah.
So in relation to, say, the Redlands Coast business community, what sort of exposure, or how are you getting your name out there within the local business community?
So I've always been really big on supporting local businesses, Australian business particularly, but I ended up going and having a chat with the guys down at Alchemy Cordials the other day.
Okay.
And we were introduced to what they sell there, so we're possibly looking at doing a bit of a collaboration. I got some great product to look at putting in with, our tarts and muffins. And B1/3, I used their beeswax in our cannelés, our French cannelés, which is a gorgeous little French custard cake. They're delicious.
Yeah.
So, supporting local and seeing what people have to offer and trying to help everybody, because it's like that business wheel. If you support them, then they'll support you, and, it makes that go round. So, it's giving back in a way. Yeah.
So in relation to any network groups, or have you had contact with the Chamber of Commerce, for example?
I haven't yet. This has also been so new, and it's funny. Like when we first got up here, it was still going along the lines of, we're going to do the online cookie business. And then when I got up here, like when we were talking about the humidity just before, it's amazing how much it affects all of my recipes that I had.
Okay.
So I had a lot of my cookie recipes that didn't handle the humidity.
Oh, truly?
And that it was even on a bad day. So I reworked some of them that I could make work, but without having a full-on air-conditioned room that was, straight set up for, doing cookies, pastry, chocolate work, all that type of thing. It was really quite difficult. So it was, sitting back and reassessing what part we were going to, what path we were going to take really with the business. And, I've always loved the pastry, and it was something that I knew that I could do with gluten-free. It was probably more of my idea at the very start before this whole cookie idea come along. And so I thought, you know what, let's just go back to that, because I know that it's something that I'm confident in. The recipes will work well, and there's nothing really around here that offers something to that degree. So, so it was then, okay, let's try it, and knocked out a whole lot of tarts, and the bread, works really great up here. If there's one thing that humidity likes, is yeast and humidity are like best friends. It's amazing. So you can make the most beautiful bread up here. And so it's one of those things that, okay, let's go down this road. And you know what? It's right in my heart doing that. It's something that I'm passionate about, probably more so than the cookies. But I'm really proud of what I've got to offer and what I've put up. And
so are you business to business? I can see on your website it's predominantly, is it business to the retail customer?
Yeah, so it's retail customer. So we're an online business, an online patisserie. So we bake to order. I have orders open 24/7. They cut off on a Thursday night and then reset on the Friday for the next week. So pickups are on Saturday morning. At the moment, it's just like a bit of a tester because we've got our grand opening this weekend, which is really great. We've had some amazing orders. So thank you to everybody that has
so just a little bit of a proviso there for people listening and watching. Yes. The grand opening is March 26th.
Yes, March 26th.
Which means that when this podcast actually comes out, they will have been well and truly open. So, so don't hold back, people. Just don't hold back. All right, sorry.
Yeah, no, get your order in. Orders finish on Thursday nights at about 8 o'clock, and then, pickups on the Saturday. And we do offer other pickup times as well. If you can't get in at that particular time, you just, shout us out, give us a message, and, we'll definitely be able to help you out.
Yeah.
But we are doing some possible wholesale orders as well. I think at this early stage I'm trying to ease myself into it to make sure that I don't get overwhelmed with everything, and just go from there.
We've got a number of great little coffee shops right around the Redlands coast, which are probably looking and listening to you now and thinking, I need to have an offer of a gluten-free, and no doubt many of them already do, but maybe it's an option that they can also look at. So
absolutely.
So so obviously the humidity was challenging. What else has been most challenging for you setting up your business?
I think in a way it was choosing the direction that it was going to go. It was, do we do online? Do we do a shop front? Originally, it was all just going to be online with the cookies and get that sorted. So we weren't even thinking about having to get a front for it. It was, you've got your kitchen set up, that's fine. Your prep area, that's good. And then it would be just, orders coming in online and sending it off in the posting courier. And then when that changed, it was, all right, so now we've got to find a premises, because where our kitchen is not where people can, come and pick up their orders. So it was finding the right space for the right amount of money as well, because you don't really want to overcapitalise on a business starting up. So finding something that was viable for us to have as a small pickup place, a click and collect, was it was more tricky than there was. And we went around and seen a few places, and there were some great spots for a cafe style, so you could have a coffee set up out the front, but it was, for us, it was too early days to be able to do something like that. So we found a great little place through Ray White in Trade Street in Ormiston, and I've been crazily setting that up, ready to go for Saturday. So
excellent. Sounds ideal. So there was, I was just thinking. Just bear with me. I've just got I've lost my train of thought. So just, we were just talking. That's it. Now, I've had a look at, your social media, your Facebook page, and you're not shy about jumping on and doing a quick video and doing a live. And I think that's awesome because our business is are really driven by connection. When people connect with the business owner and can get that connection, I think it's really positive. So how do you find your target customer?
You know what? I think like with the gluten-free, it's going to, like, I jumped on some support groups for Celiac Brisbane on Facebook. So I've joined a few support groups on there. There's the What's On in Redlands. I jumped on there as well and did a bit of a shout out. So it's, and from there, I think the gluten-free community is very tight-knit.
Yeah.
So a lot of it goes on word of mouth, which is really great. So that was the way for me that everything has started off, is going through those networks, and they've been really great. And I've been seeing my page pop up on the social media here, there and everywhere at the moment, which is really fantastic. So big shout out to everybody online to say thank you for supporting and sharing, because without you guys doing that, honestly, it would not work.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, but it's good.
But yeah, like you were saying before as well, like with social media and not being shy. I do. Everyone that knows me knows I like to have a bit of a chat. But getting on there, it's not as easy as what you think. So, but the most reaction, and I like it as well, like when you find someone talking to you and letting you know and seeing that they're passionate about what they do, it's infectious.
Yeah.
And it makes you get as excited about what you're doing as what, they get excited about it as much as what you are. So yeah, it's good. It's nice to be relatable that way.
Yeah, I believe so too. So out of everything that you've accomplished over the last couple of years, what are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of of Australian Wildflour Pastry Co. It's something that was born kind of out of accident. Yeah. But I'm so passionate about it, and it's a great challenge, and there's always room for improvement. And, there's that challenge of creating new recipes, new flavours, new everything. And it's making what you make better. And, for those that don't have a choice in eating, it gives them something amazing to look forward to. It's that treat. Yeah. It doesn't have to be the bread or a griller that you can have for lunch. It's, like the lemon tarts are our biggest seller. Like I've nearly sold out of those. Lemon muffins, it's incredible. Yeah. But it's those little things that people appreciate, and watching, someone sit back and enjoy it and really enjoy it. And they're like, I haven't had that in years. It was amazing. And, it really makes your heart full. Yeah. And being thankful for everybody that, has helped me get here as well. It was a year ago that I was really down and out. I had a relationship breakdown, and I didn't have pretty much anything left. And to work myself up, to have the strength from my friends and my close family, it's been great. And honestly, I couldn't have done it all without them. And they all know who they are, so there's so many. But yeah, being able to be here right now on the verge of opening this is absolutely amazing. Yeah,
it's exciting, really, and a great story of grit, determination, and persistence. So
yeah, it's amazing. When you're so when you want something to work, and going through COVID and being stuck in Albury, made the decision to come up to Brisbane in April last year, and with the border closed and all the rest of it, it's like, come on, Anastasia, let us in. We want to start this thing. It's amazing. Yeah. And then coming here finally, like as soon as the borders opened, we're through the door and in isolation and doing all of that. It's crazy when you think back how much everyone's been through to where I am now is really good.
I find the amazing thing about COVID and what we've all had to endure is that at some stage in the future, we're actually going to think back pretty fondly on how we responded and how we drove through some of those challenges. So it's good that you're able to do that now.
It's the change, it's how you adapt, it's, and being resilient to it. I mean, it's not, I can't say that it's all been roses, because there's been plenty of times where I've been sitting in tears going, oh my gosh, what am I doing? Is this right? Well, that whole fear of failure, you don't want to disappoint anybody. And everyone's just like, slap on the back, Anita, have a cup of concrete, and, what you do is great, don't forget it. And, it's having that self-belief to be able to put yourself out there and have that happen. It's great.
So where did the name come from?
It was just something that kind of collaborated together. We were throwing around a few names, and we are proudly Australian owned, and we like to use as many Australian products as possible, and we support, Australian businesses. So we wanted to keep that in there somehow. Wildflour, if you get into gluten-free flours, there is some crazy stuff going on out there with it. And pastry, I have a love of pastries. There has never been a day where I haven't gotten sick of, getting up at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then at 6 o'clock you've got fresh pastries coming out the oven, and it's that smell and, that sweet yeasty, it's beautiful. And so that's really where I wanted to take Australian Wildflour Pastry Co, because, in the future there's that dream of, and I'm working on it, guys, I'm working on the pastry side of it. Having a beautiful croissant and a pain au chocolat, and, having that fresh out of the oven and be able to buy that at 6 in the morning and line up for it, it'd be a great thing. So I'm working on my recipe. I'm very, very pedantic about how I want it to be. So I'm about 80% there. But that in the future, to be able to offer that to people, to have something amazing, in pastry would be great.
That'll be excellent. So what's the vision? Where is this thing going to go? Where do you want it to go?
I'd love it to go down the path of pastry. It's, I think that would be great. I've been to many a gluten-free bakery that has offered gluten-free pastries, and at the risk of sounding rude, I haven't enjoyed any of them. There are some that have been completely unedible. It's really hard with gluten-free baking. It comes out very dense. Your flour is, you need to hydrate your flour a lot more than what you would. Like your bread batter looks like batter, like a cake batter. And you look at it and go, there is no freaking way that is going to turn into bread. And it does. And it's amazing. And it's reworking everything from working with wheat to working gluten-free. You have to train yourself out of it because it's completely different. And I think the pastry, going down the line of pastry, when I get the recipe right, would be amazing. And I think in a way also your consumer kind of drives where your business goes, as well as it's what sells. I have to love everything that I put out. I'll stand by it. I'll put my name to it. I need to be able to eat it. So it's quite a high quality, and I have quite high standards. So for me to be able to eat it not being gluten-free, I'm hoping that those gluten-free really enjoy it. And those that are in their family and friends, they can take it somewhere and people not know that it's gluten-free. So, so we'll see how it goes, see what sells, and see what the demand is, and we just go from there.
Excellent. It sounds...
Business always adapts and changes,
Yeah. Awesome. Anita, where can people connect with you?
We are online. Our website, foremost, is awpc.com.au. There's a contact page and a frequently asked questions page that's like a mile long, so you can find all the details there about how we work. And also you can contact us on our contact page on there too, and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram.
Excellent. And I'll make sure all of those links are in the show notes. So, Anita, welcome to the Redlands Coast. Best
you
of
so
luck
much.
with your business endeavours, and thank you for
Thank you,
sharing
Tony.
time with us today.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
Drawing from over 30 years of experience in growing and developing business, it's now time for Tony's 2 cents.
Sometimes great businesses are born out of accidents. Now, Anita spoke about that, and it can be so true. Sometimes we stumble over a great idea for a business, sometimes when we don't even recognize that there is a problem. Now, Anita happened along the recipe for her business when her business partner shared some gluten-free bread with her. And she recognized that there needed and there should be something better. And it's been part of her quest ever since. The birth of her business came from that simple idea that gluten-free baking should also be tasty. Now you can see the passion that Anita has for baking and for creating. And that passion is being rewarded by continual referrals and word-of-mouth marketing that is growing her business. Once again, thank you very much to Anita for coming on the podcast today. And of course, her links are in the show notes. The Redlands Coast Business Show is brought to you by the Essentials of Growth Small Business Leadership Program by Tomorrow's Best Leaders. Developing your leadership is essential for your small business growth. The success of your small business is largely dependent on the level of your leadership that drives it. Leaders are responsible for productivity, employee morale, and innovation, and this program provides the tools to help leaders grow their business. This program will take you on a journey to help you lead, engage, connect, lead your personal journey to build leadership skills to help you be more productive and effective. And as you develop your self-leadership skills, you'll be more energized and driven to achieve your goals. Engage. Your leadership skills enable you to build the best team that you can. Empowering and developing them is a key aspect to building the best business performance. Connect. The way we connect with others, build relationships with our clients and our team. Building your leadership helps you connect and build trusted relationships. It's designed for your busy lifestyle with access to micro-learnings and activities monthly that drive the best possible outcomes in the most effective use of your time. And it's all brought together with a personalized coaching session monthly. Learn more today at tomorrowsbestleaders.com. I hope to see you there.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Redlands Coast Business Show. We hope you found it a valuable resource for you and your business journey. Tune in next time for more local business stories. We'll see you then.